Welcome to News Mongolia, where we bring you the latest stories and updates from across the nation and beyond. I'm Batsirin Namshar. From top stories, President Khurelsukh to attend COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan. Circus artist L.Munkh-Enkh moves to Uvurkhangai Province to teach contortion. 4th Annual Child Protection Compact Partnership Dialogue held in Ulaanbaatar. For the news, stay tuned. Mongolian President Khurelsukh is attending the UN Climate Change Conference held in Baku, Azerbaijan from November 11th to 22nd. Hosted under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP29 will gather world leaders, climate experts, and civil society to discuss critical solutions to climate change and its global impact.
COP29 is a pivotal forum for negotiating international climate policies and fostering global collaboration towards sustainable development. The conference will focus on urgent climate challenges, including emission reductions, adaptation to climate impacts, and achieving the goal of limiting the global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. President Khuresukh's participation highlights Mongolia's commitment to contributing to international climate efforts and strengthening global partnerships on environmental issues. The two-week event will include high-level discussions and deliberations on various sustainable development goals, focusing on enhancing ambition, enabling action, and ensuring the participation of all nations in addressing climate change. Key topics will also cover finance mechanisms to support climate action and green technology innovations. President Khurelsukh is expected to meet with other world leaders during the conference, discussing opportunities for international cooperation in combating climate change and sustainable development strategies for Mongolia.
L.Munkh-Enkh, an experienced circus artist and contortionist from Ulaanbaatar, has moved to Uvurkhangai Province to teach contortion to children in rural areas with a focus on developing skilled artists. We have details in our next report.
With her extensive experience in the circus arts, L.Munkh-Enkh is committed to introducing this unique and physically demanding discipline to the next generation, aiming to create opportunities for young people in less urbanized regions of Mongolia.
Contortion, like many physical disciplines, requires not only strength and flexibility, but also a strong mental preparation to overcome challenges. I believe that athletes and contortionists develop a high level of mental fortitude, which helps them stay resilient in the face of difficult circumstances in their training and life.
By instilling this mindset in children, L.Munkh-Enkh hopes to cultivate not just skilled performers, but individuals capable of overcoming obstacles with confidence and determination. Her teacher, Khurelsukh, is supporting her initiative as a visiting teacher.
Uvurkhangai is a Mongolian tourism center, so I think developing contortion and circus culture in the provinces will contribute to the overall development of tourism.
L.Munkh-Enkh aims not only to elevate contortion standards in Mongolia, but also to empower rural youth, helping them become exceptional athletes who can compete on the world stage.
Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
The 4th Annual Dialogue of the U.S.-Mongolia Child Protection Compact Partnership took place on November 7th at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia. The CPC is a collaboration between the governments of Mongolia and the U.S. Department of State and has been implemented since 2020. Nyamgeril, head of the Coordination Council for Crime Prevention, highlighted that the project aims to strengthen child protection through partnership, which includes the Ministry of Justice and Home Affairs, the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection, the Asia Foundation, and World Vision International. This year, the CPC was extended for another year with an increased budget. Tokbayer, director of the CPC, shared that the project has yielded significant results, including establishing 29 school clubs that teach children self-protection methods against human trafficking. Additionally, 1,200 referrals were made by 220 home visitor volunteers. Bot Zhang, head of the Prevention Division of Domestic Violence and Children's Crime at the National Police Agency, noted rising concerns about children's exposure to cyberbullying. Head of the Prevention Division of Domestic Violence and Children's Crime at the National Police Agency noted rising concerns about children's exposure to cyberbullying. The police are working to improve digital safety by conducting training in schools, promoting a stronger parental responsibility, and enhancing legal frameworks to combat online risks.
On November 7th, Mongolian Education Minister Ulaanbaatar met with Czech Ambassador Jan Vitopil to discuss expanding educational cooperation. There are 13,569 Mongolian citizens living in the Czech Republic, including 2,178 students. 29 Mongolian students are part of the 2024 Presidential Scholar 2100 program. The 2019 agreement between the two countries has facilitated successful exchange programs for teachers, students, and researchers. With Czech embassy support, a Czech language instructor now teaches at the National University of Mongolia, and Mindel University collaborates with the Mongolian University of Life Sciences on forestry training. Minister Khurelsukh supported Ambassador Vitopil's proposals to increase exchange quotas, promote Czech language studies, and improve resources for Czech students in Mongolia. Both sides agreed to further strengthen cooperation.
You're watching News Mongolia. Now let's take a look at the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Now let's take a look at international news from our partner agencies. US President Joe Biden will host President-elect Donald Trump for a traditional post-election meeting in the Oval Office on Wednesday, the White House said Saturday. Such a meeting is customary between the outgoing president and the incoming president and is meant partly to mark the start of a peaceful transfer of power under America's democracy.
Mr. President!
But then President Trump, a Republican, didn't host Biden, a Democrat, for a sit-down after the 2020 election when Trump lost his re-election bid. Trump sought the presidency again 4 years later, and on Tuesday he defeated Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic presidential nominee. Trump is the first former president to return to power since Grover Cleveland regained the White House in the 1892 election. The White House said Biden called Trump this past Wednesday to congratulate him and invite him to meet in the Oval Office. The meeting is scheduled for 11 a.m. In a speech Thursday, Biden said he had assured Trump that he would direct his entire administration to work with his team to ensure peaceful and orderly transition. That's what the American people deserve. Asked about Trump as he left church Saturday in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, where he was spending the weekend, Biden said that he's going to see him on Wednesday.
Mr. President, is Trump still a threat to democracy?
Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar met with far-right Dutch leader Geert Wilders at Amsterdam's Schiphol airport on Friday following soccer fan violence. Sa'ar said Wilders was one of the greatest friends of Israel because he was right in his analysis that radical Islam is dangerous not only to the Middle East, not only to Israel, it's dangerous to Western society, it's dangerous to Europe.
Both sides need it. I understand.
Very good meeting. Mr. Wilders is one of the greatest friends of Israel, but he's also a leader of principles and a leader which reality proves that he was right during the years with his analysis, with his warnings about what is going on in the Netherlands and in Europe. And we understand today, and the people of Netherlands can easily understand today, radical Islam is dangerous, not only in the Middle East, not only to Israel. It is dangerous to Western society. It is dangerous to Europe. It is dangerous to America. It is dangerous to the Netherlands. And if you accommodate, if you compromise with this mob that made yesterday these barbaric attacks in the streets of Amsterdam, finally you cannot recognize the society and the country you are living. And this is the real danger today for the Netherlands and for so many European countries that slept during a lot of years. But it was very easy to speak with Mr. Wilders because he understood the challenge and the danger a lot time before other people, I would say.
Saar met with the Dutch Minister for Security and Justice, pledging Israeli help in the investigation, and also held talks with Geert Wilders, a far-right anti-Islam lawmaker whose party won national election last year.
But he's also a leader of principles.
The Rockefeller Center Christmas tree arrived in New York City on Saturday, signaling the start of the holiday season in the Big Apple. The 22.5-meter Norway spruce was driven into Manhattan Center Plaza, where it was hoisted in place by a crane. It will take about 8 kilometers of light strands with more than 50,000 multicolored LED bulbs to wrap the tree, whose diameter measures 13 meters.
A Swarovski star crown sparkling with 3 million crystals will top it. The towering conifer, donated by the Albert family in West Stockbridge, Massachusetts, was cut down Thursday morning and loaded into a flatbed truck for the 140-mile, equal to 225-kilometer trip. It is the first Rockefeller Center Christmas tree to come from Massachusetts since 1959. It was met in New York City by smiling crowds who held cell phones aloft from behind barriers as crews attached cables to the giant tree, pounded a stake into its base and guided it into place.
So the tree this year comes to us from West Stockbridge, Massachusetts. The first time in a very, very long time, I think since 1959, that we've had a Massachusetts tree. Donated by the Albert family, and it's 74 feet tall and 43 feet wide, and I think weighs a robust 11 tons.
So I found this tree back in July of 2020. I went to look at another tree, stayed overnight. The next day I saw this tree right in front of me coming down the road, and I knew I had to knock on the door, and I met Earl and asked him if I could take a couple of pictures and walk around the tree. And as I was walking around, the tree was perfect all the way around, and I said, wow, this is beautiful.
Once in its new home, the adjustments began to get it ready for the elaborate tree trimming to come. The lighting ceremony is on December the 4th. When the tree is taken down in January, it will be milled into lumber for Habitat for Humanity, a non-profit organization.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you on Tuesday with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.